Oh, we're on camera. Whoopsie.
I liked it.
Welcome to Recovering
John.
Oh, boy. Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT, and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Felice, married to an alcoholic addict. Here for any questions about codependency, co-addiction, those sort of things, family stuff, what you want to know?
Yeah. Who's this good-looking fella in our camera?
Oh,
I don't know, but
stop
hashtag
it.
that guy.
Hashtag gorgeous.
I guess I say I'm John Venturini, a recovering addict of overeating, alcoholism, and compulsive gambling, and the host of The Venture Forward.
Oh, let me put this up because I know something cool. Check it out, guys. Bam. The Venture Forward. That is where you guys can find John. He has been podcasting, whatever you want to call live streaming, live TV, whatever you guys want to call it. But we're here tonight.
Real quick.
Yeah, Fleece's going to drop his links in the comments. Y'all check him out if you haven't already, but I'm pretty sure y'all know who he is. Since we're all a part of this awesome community and helping each other stay strong and all that kind of good stuff, John had a good podcast or whatever. What should we call it, dude? Just TV show?
You know, do what the fine folks at LSP call it, a live stream. I live streamed earlier in the evening.
All right, we just live stream. Thanks for
making
me.
Yeah.
My mind's going other places still. We went to the gym today, worked out really hard. I think I have a hernia, a minor umbilic hernia above my belly button.
Like 99%.
99, and it's just barely, like just a little bit. It hurts.
Hernia-ish.
So, a little worried about that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not too worried though, but a little bit.
Not worried enough to go to the doctor.
My check-engine light's on. Let's say that.
LT, I mean this as a friend, but you got to listen to your body. Your body says, you got a hernia. You should see a doctor. I'm just saying.
Probably should do that. Yeah, I'll make.
Not that I'm a doctor or anything, but
some friendly advice. That's all.
Yeah. Heck yeah. If you are brand new here, this is a channel on recovery, addiction, support, love, education, all the above. We took AA, NA, SA, all the A's and wrapped it up into the only one you need, and that's RA, recovering addict.
Yeah, we did.
And we don't care what your addiction was. You could be addicted to licking the dust off the top of the TV, but if it's an addiction, I just made that up.
I bet people do that.
They're probably, I've seen it. Some weirder ones. My Strange Addictions. You guys seen that show?
Yeah. Have you seen the one where she eats like her husband or
whatever?
Yeah,
her husband's got
his ashes
in the urn. Yeah, and she'll just like dip her finger in it. Oh.
Come to our show, lady. We're here for you.
Any one of those people on that show are welcome in this community as well. Because at the end of the day, addiction is diction. And I think John can attest to that. John, you want to give maybe there are some new people here that don't know you. Give us who you are, what you do, and how you battled 3 difficult ones.
3. The triumvirate, the 3 addictions that Merc. Yeah, your secret is not safe with us. We told the world that you are a dust licker.
He's just got that look in his eye too.
Merc Stolinsky, dust licker. No, it's so basically the overeating has been a battle I've had my entire life. It's in
real thing, pick a disease.
Yeah, well, I mean,
pick a disease. Sorry.
There
you go. I thought that's what it was called when you lick dead people. Go ahead, John. I'll shut up.
And coming up in the next hour, the addiction of licking dead people.
Pick a disease.
Kyle, what's up, brother?
Sorry.
Sorry, no. This is really funny. Overeating has been a battle I've had my entire life. I've lost the weight 3 times.
Oh, 3? Wow.
Yes, 3 times. 200 plus pounds 3 times, going all the way back to 2001. So I was working in Connecticut, and I realized that I got really big, and I was at a point where I needed to do something about it. So I did it back then, was able to lose... I was at 425, got all the way down to 185, so that's 240, just to have that weight come back over the next 5 years. We get to 2010, and I'm on a trip up to New Hampshire, and my ex was saying, hey, you really need to lose the weight. Now, granted,
was your ex overweight as well?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
She's obese. I don't know if she's still obese because we don't talk. But yeah, she's obese. So she explains to me that I should really do something about this before we spend 4 or 5 days away, and we're having a lot of food trips and we have big dinners and whatnot. You should really watch it. And now I'm at about 440 in 2010, and I have to lose the weight. So over the next year and change, I go from 440 down to 245. Doesn't stay off. So we get to 2019. So you can imagine a sawtooth going on here.
Yeah.
And I'm at the worst weight of my life, the worst shape of my life. I'm weighing 480 pounds, 480. That's a class 4 obesity and a BMI of over 60, close to 70.
Wow.
And I could barely walk more than 5 to 10 feet anywhere. And the thing that, I kind of mentioned it earlier on my show, but the thing I realized was when you're in the middle of a very small terminal at RDU and you cannot keep everything together and you have 2 laptops over your shoulder and you're dragging luggage all over the place, you need to do something. And I basically had a nervous breakdown in the middle of Raleigh-Durham Airport in the Southwest Terminal, which is all of 7 gates. You ever see the TV show Wings? It's that small. So everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
I realized at that point, LT, that either I change it or I'm going to die. So needless to say, I had a meltdown. I said, I know how to do this. I've lost the weight twice before. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. And I just go back at it. Now, the thing is, LT, I realized the things that were going on behind the scenes that was causing me to eat, causing me to overeat, causing me to closet eat. So who doesn't like to go to a Burger King or a Wendy's and order 4 burgers at the same time and eat like 2 of the sides? That's everybody. Everybody does that, right? Everybody.
So yeah, I wanted to get into that, like what overeating looks like, because a lot of people may not know. Because I know a few people who are obviously obese, and when I see them, it's like they don't eat. It doesn't seem that they eat much more than we do. But what does it look like behind the scenes when nobody's around? Kind of like me in my basement when I was drinking fists of whiskey, basically.
So with the overeating and that sort of thing, you get gravitated to a kind of food. You're driving home from wherever. In my case, talking about the third addiction, I'm probably usually driving home from a casino because, again, there is that going on too. And I'm feeling the pain of losing money left, right, and sideways. And so I stop at a fast food place and I sit in a drive-thru and I order multiple things, and it's just an ugly mess. And then it's a thing where we talk about them as joint addictions in the sense that they usually tie to each other. So you think about the overeating, you think about that sort of thing. I'm looking for other ways for that dopamine rush to hit me.
Yeah.
So that talks to the drinking, that talks to the gambling, right? So needless to say, in January of 19, February of 19 at 480, I'm at 203 right now. I've lost basically 277 pounds in the course of almost 2 years.
Wow.
I'm at a point right now where I realized the things that were holding me back. I made some major life changes, had major things happen in my life. That's why we refer to her as an ex. But I also had other things going on with my business relationships and my job and my family, where I really had to realize that I had to be a better judge of character. But moreover, I had to start taking care of myself first and foremost.
Thank you, Kimmy.
Thank you. And then working from there. And the thing is, it's the one thing that, Sean asked the question before in Discord, is like, what was that rock bottom? Well, the rock bottom was weighing 480 and not being able to walk. With respect to the alcoholism, it was drinking 7 consecutive days before you have a giant meal at a Mexican restaurant over in Exton. And you have 2 pitchers of jalapeno cucumber margaritas, Manhattans, and bourbon and wine, and then having a reversal of fortune at 3:45 in the morning, for which there was a red spot on your left eye, and you were nauseous for about the next 5 to 6 days from it.
Would you get hungover from eating that much, kind of in a sense too?
Oh, I would feel really really, really cramped, really, really full. But because I was eating things and drinking like diet soda, which basically causes you to eat more because it basically fools your internals. Like, okay, well, you're obviously still hungry, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
With the case of the alcoholism, it was a question of I was doing a lot of business dinners. So I work, where I have to entertain prospects and clients all the time. And there was always, so for me, it was never wine. It was never beer or wine. It was, like martinis, Manhattans. I was drinking those sort of drinks. And then also, I don't know, drinking bourbon. And the thing is, that behavior kind of manifested itself to like holidays. So tonight we're talking about, thankful for the holidays and realizing what we need to do for the holidays. I showed a picture of a bottle of bourbon before dinner, and during that dinner that wavered down to nothing.
Oh, wow.
Because I have a problem and I'm around people who have a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not anything I want to ever gravitate back to, for sure.
That's crazy. So obviously they all three went hand in hand, all your addictions. We'll get into each one more. But I'm kind of interested in the food one because I know when I was a drinker, like you said, you were eating and drinking. But when I wouldn't eat. I did not eat at all. I would, unless I was like on the point of blackout drunk and it's, 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm just fumbling through the fridge. I mean, sometimes, when the groceries run out, there ain't that much and I'm too lazy to cook. I remember eating like a whole jar of pickles or, what I mean? That's the only time I would really eat. But did you get the same, like, so when you overeat, say like your 4 Big Macs or whatever you ate, you get that same dopamine release and just like, that euphoric for a little while?
I think it was more of like a hunger you couldn't satisfy. Like no matter how much you ate, you couldn't satisfy that hunger because all the receptors inside of you are saying, "Oh, you're still hungry. You should eat more. You're hungry."
On top of the reward, your body's telling you false information.
Yeah, it's never good. It's never good. And the thing was, I used to drink more diet soda than I could shake a stick at.
Wow, I still kind of do. I drink a lot of like Diet Sprite.
Coke Zero, Cherry Zero, for sure.
Yeah. How did you quit in the beginning? Like, what made you push forward past the first week? And when did depression start lifting? Abdi Hussein? Sorry, I stopped reading.
Abdi, by the way, pleasure to talk to you this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you may be. I would say that, and I'll address the last question because it's a perfect segue to what we're going to do in the next few weeks. But I think what made me quit in the beginning is the fact that I didn't like the way I felt. I didn't like the way I was moving about. I was always afraid I was having a heart attack, even though I was having panic attacks left, right, and sideways.
Hey, Daniel.
I think that was one of the precursors. I think the other thing was you take a week or two of eating healthy after eating such absolute crap. It does things, right? You start feeling better. Energy starts coming to you. It's hard for someone who's 480 pounds to go on any sort of program per se, as far as exercise. You're going to take it as much as you can get it. So from the extra energy, you use that. That has been basically my MO this time around. And then for me, as far as quitting things, it became a lot easier once I've had a lot more numbers on that wall, right? That board, right? I think understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing, understanding what made me go down such a nefarious behavior in the first place. But I would also say that the more momentum I have in fixing these things, the better I am. And as far as the depression, Abdi is your name? Abdi, I think.
Abdi.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure that the depression's fully lifted yet. And that's why we're going to be talking about depression in the first 3 episodes of the new season starting on January 5th.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I think the depression one, we've been learning a lot about health. And, in the big book, it even states once you start getting your mind right, then you move to the physical. So Felice and I are kind of at, I don't know, whatever stage you want to call it, number 1, 2, or 3. But we're working on our physical, and we're starting to get into the microbiome and your gut health and how that's where the serotonin is produced to the brain. And a lot of that, see, Abdi, when you first are coming off chemicals or whatever you're doing, your body rids itself of the toxin, right? And then you got to rebuild the health inside your body. And so your chemicals are going through a weird phase like this, but eventually that does level out. And then you can relapse without going back to drinking or whatever your choice was. You can relapse just mentally and start going in that negative direction, which could lead to an abuse, taking substances. And it's all about how you keep your mind, which one you feed. If you're feeding your recovery, you're more apt to stay more out of depression. Not saying that it's ever going to go away, but it depends on where your mind is and your support group and who you surround yourself with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. I think the other thing is, and I think I've mentioned this in the comments before in previous episodes, but thank you, Abdi. That's really awesome. Thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. I'll say this. I think, quite frankly, I talk about internal family systems all the time. And there's a concept within IFS called firefighting. And if you think about what a firefighter is, it's standing in to fill the gaps that have been depleting us, whether it's emotional or it's chemical or it's any sort of the thing. So the question is, do we replace the firefighters with things that are less nefarious, right? It's sort of like, well, I'll use an example. Bill decides to go ahead and this is a good one. Bill decides to go ahead and speed on a highway because he needs a sort of thing to replace the addiction, the excitement of drinking heavily or doing coke or whatnot. So basically replacing one addiction with something that's less nefarious but may have its own legality problems. It's not the best example. I'm doing the best I can at 1018, but it's that sort of taking one behavior, replacing it with something that's not as, I guess, fatal or mortal. Frowned upon. Exactly.
It's still your addictive thinking, your mindset, and it can lead to just bad things. Like Mandy said here, she relapsed mentally before the actual substance relapse. And that's where it could always lead, anything will do in a pinch. Abdi, I want to hit this just real quick. My thoughts on Matt, and I'll let John speak too. But Matt, if that is something you need to get your life in order and get better, and you're doing it with your doctor and a psychologist, and you're following it to the prescription, more power to you. And I can 100% support you. If you're doing it right, like the doctor asked you to, you're not going to be getting high on it. You're not, but there's a fine line there. Some people don't think so, but this is recovering. And if it's going to aid you in your recovery, I high five and support you. John?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think, anytime you go down the road of MAT or any other therapies that you would go to, you're basically your outpatient personnel, your doctor that may prescribe you down that road. It's something that you have to listen to verbatim because you're not the one with the doctorate or the credentials. The person you're working with or the people that you're working with do. So it's something you have to keep very close to and understand what exactly is going on. It's the sort of thing where you never want to do that sort of thing off the rails, right? You always want to have that level of guidance, that level of feedback, and understand what's going on so you're doing the right thing for you.
Amen. All right, I'm going to hit my segment out of the Discord because I just love my little thing that I made. Alrighty. The Discord question of the day comes from Sean L. We love Sean. He's doing some great things over there. It was cool. Off subject real quick. I asked him to be on the show and he told me the same thing he told you. Give me my 1 year of sobriety and I'm all yours. Dude, commend you for that. And so here's his question. John V, for each of your individual addictions, what was the this needs to stop moment?
Yeah. So I discussed this with Sean earlier on my show, and I wanted to talk about this at a little bit more length because of the joint nature of the three addictions. People seem to forget that one can basically borrow into the other, that can borrow into the third. And there are a bunch of other addictions that, let's face it, I mean, I have enough room for a lot more numbers up there that I just don't. I mean, I've told others before that every now and then I enjoy a good cigar. It's not something that is something that I smoke 5 cigars. I don't do that. It's like once every 2 months now these days. But let's face it, if you ask someone, that's a tobacco addiction. But I think I'm at a point right now where it's really minimalized. The point I'm trying to make is understanding why one happens, trying to pull apart why it's happening, figuring out the events that are going on around you. If there are people that are in your life that are horrible or that are evil, that are basically holding you back, whether they realize it or not, or whether you realize it or not, you have to make some sort of realization that I have to end this. I have to do something that is better for me, because how the heck can I love anyone else? How the heck can I help anyone else unless I fix myself first? I got into a debate about this, LT, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I got into a very, very ugly argument with my mom about 6 months ago, where she's obviously is working on her own thing, but we had a debate about the fact that she said, "Oh, I love you, John." It's like, I don't think you do. Why would you say that? And she's now crying. It's like, because you don't love yourself. You have to love yourself first and foremost, without question. And once you have that understanding, you can love people a lot better, right? It's that whole sort of thing of when you're on an airplane and you lose the cabin pressure and the masks fall down. What do they tell you to do? You got to put the mask on you first, and then anyone else in the row second. Same comes to love. Same comes to respect. Same comes to guidance. You have to take care of yourself first. And I think, my mom, thank God, is starting to realize that, but it took a while.
When I get the question of love, I always look at it as we all have that feeling, right? That I look at a puppy. I can even go there, right? I look at a puppy and, oh my gosh, I love that puppy. And us in the English language, we only have one word for love. And if you look at the Greek and Hebrew, they got 3 different types of love, right? You can say, I love chocolate cake and I love my wife. What's the difference there? The way I look at it is love in that aspect. I think what you're looking into is a verb. Love is a verb, is not an emotion. Your mom may feel love for you, had that feeling like that's my boy and I love him. But the action of the verb, the actual love is where the rubber meets the road, right? Just like you said,
Right.
If she loved you, her actions would prove it by her taking care of herself to be able to take care of you. No matter how I feel on a given day, if I'm angry, I'm mad at her for whatever reason, love would still be me. I don't know if you've seen the meme. If it's raining out, I hold the umbrella over her head. You know what I mean? That kind of a thing.
That's sweet. Too.
That's kind of my opinion when I start thinking about love. And I got that because of my biblical studies and the 3 different words it's used for love. And like agape is like the unconditional love.
Yeah, Dez's comment's interesting. Yeah, he says, "Sorry, John, your mom is right," and you know what, Dez, you are. We do have to love ourselves, but the thing is, it becomes something where if she's going to put herself into that sort of dire straits and doesn't love herself, it becomes a problem, because now you're obviously you love her, you're going to take care of her or whatnot, but it's like these are things that she can hold herself back on and do the better thing for herself. In other words, love herself a bit, understand what's going on, and taking care of herself, not only physically, but mentally, all of that.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know, that's like that people and addicts always think, you always tell them, don't you love your kids? And it's, of course we do love our kids. Inside I love, if they die, I'm going to cry. That type of love. But my verb love is I love my addiction more. And that's why I sat in the basement and neglected my wife and my kids, because in the action, I loved that substance, being drunk, more than I loved them. And that's a fact. You know, it's a hard fact. It sucks when somebody, especially when you're new into recovery and you only got a couple days or maybe a month under your belt, and somebody tells you love your addiction more than your family. Bull crap. You know, you get a lot of defense in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and the sick thing is, LT, it doesn't have to be an addiction per se. It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
It could be just any sort of hobby, any sort of business, any sort of anything. You know, the thing is, when you sort of see that wavering difference of emotion, that sort of differing sort of love and care and energy that goes to a human being versus something else, that brings up debates that become really tough for sure.
100%. So according to Sean's question, I don't know if you answered it on your channel, but individual, did you say like you hit rock bottom? I'm just going to throw this out there for an example, like, oh crap, this week overeating, I hit my rock bottom, and then maybe a couple weeks later and gambling hit you, and then a couple weeks later, or did it all just crash at once?
No, it took events.
Oh,
see?
3 individual events.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the thing. With respect to the overeating, the event was feeling absolutely horrible, having a certain situation with my job where I was basically told I don't travel well.
Tickets.
Yeah, that's right. The funny thing is, LT, that's why I flew Southwest, because, you know, if you're a customer of size, they can give you the extra seat for free. You have to get, wow. Little fun fact. So you're barely walking around and you're not feeling well, and you realize you have to change that, but you also have to realize why you were doing that in the first place. That was first and foremost. As far as the alcoholism is concerned, that was about 4 months later. So it wasn't 2 weeks from there. And the thing was, for the first 4 months, as I was trying to do this diet, I was still drinking. I was having a cheat meal or cheat day once a week. And I was going out for those jalapeno cucumber margaritas and you know, all that. And it took me drinking an epic amount 7 days prior, and then that night, where two things happened. One, I felt like absolute. But second, see, I'm trying to not curse because, you know, anyhow. Feeling like that. But second, the realization that I can't lose 300 pounds if I'm going to do stuff like that. So that realization, sort of check mark, one, helped me with the first thing. But second of all, the sort of grossness I felt for about a week kind of basically reinforced that too. And as far as the gambling, well, this is something I mentioned in the gambling episodes, but here I am, beginning of 2020, this strange phenomenon known as 2020, and I'm on this road. Have made considerably good progress with the weight loss, considerably good progress with the sobriety, and yet I was still gambling because now I'm separated, right? I need something to do with my time. So February rolls around, I'm hanging out. I get a piece of registered mail from our friends in Washington.
Uh-oh.
They wanted to do an audit for 2017, a joint return. Me and my ex, at the time, still my wife, ex as of end of October. But so I had to go through that, where I had to get papers, all those 1099 forms, all of that information. And going through it, LT, I swear to God, there were about 2 to 3 weeks where I could not sleep. Because I realized how much of a degenerate I really was.
When you
when
you put the number on the paper.
Oh yeah. Because the thing is, did I win a lot of money? Yeah. Did I lose a lot more money? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that it's a horrible feeling, right? There's some people that can control it, some people that know how to put limits, but it's very strange. And I'm not sure if you'll understand this, but for some strange reason, and maybe it likens to what you'd find in drinking or whatnot, but there were periods of time where I'd be sitting playing video poker or playing craps or whatnot, and like a glaze, like a daze rather, forms over my eyes, like I'm in some sort of other world from something that is basically succumbing to a massive drip of dopamine of the event, of the activity, of that thrill. And it became evidently clear when I went through those 1099s and going through all those papers, the wins and the losses and this, that, and the other thing, how bad it was. There was a guest I had the week that we were doing the gambling topic. Great guy. He actually traded highs back and forth earlier in the day. And Archie. Archie is a phenomenal guy. Archie talks about the fact that he overcame the gambling twice. And the thing is, as we say with every other addiction we have, one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, you know, it's the sort of thing where you cannot lose the sense of where you are and understand exactly where you are with it. And just because you have 5 years, 10 years, 20 years doesn't mean you're free from it. It's always going to be a problem. Whether it's the drink, whether it's the overeating, whether it's the gamble. Always going to be a problem. So you have to stay on top of it, but also understand that not everybody's the same. You're going to have your own effect, your own sort of reaction to it, not like others. And I think there, when Archie told me that story back, it had to be 2-3 weeks ago, it made sense for me because there's a guy who had the problem. I know I had the problem. And here's a wonderful small little plug. There's a group, just like you mentioned, AA and NA and OA, called GA. And there are people that will get together multiple times a week to fight that battle, to fight their 12 steps, to talk about their promises based on gambling, compulsive gambling. It's very much a real thing, and very much a real glaze, a real daze that comes over your face.
Oh, I bet.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there real quick. We
Sure.
got Cassie in the house from Body by Cassie.
Hey guys,
What
how is everyone? How are you? Hi Felice.
What up?
How are you? Oh, we got the smile. I got you. All
Jeez.
teeth. All teeth. Me too. Yay! Hi Sean. How's everyone? How are you doing, LT?
Doing good. This is John V. Cassie. I don't know if you guys have ever met face to face on the same screen.
I think John, are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook.
Yes. Okay. So then I know you're on Facebook, but now I know you face to face. And so I was listening, and I think my quote is going to be really good for what you guys were just speaking about. So not that I'm trying to rush, but it was just like listening. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And sometimes I listen along, but like tonight I wasn't, and I'm like, this is, it kind of gives me chills when I hit it on the nail like this. So tell me if I'm right. So it says, no matter how long you've traveled the wrong direction, you can always turn around.
Yeah.
That's true. I like it.
Heck yeah.
Right?
on the money. On the money.
I'm like, dude, it's so simple, right? It's like, yes, we've all made the mistakes. We're all effed up sometimes, but gosh darn it, just turn your butt around and walk the other way. Like just do it, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah.
That goes with anything.
Yeah.
That's what I was listening to, the gambling, to drinking, and like being from Vegas, I know like there's professional gamblers out here, and this is what they do, and they're just addicted. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you don't have a real career in this here, but it is what it is, right? I'm not trying to judge, but it's a serious thing. It can apply for anything, and like you said, overeating, drinking, drugs, gambling, whatever it is, and it's again, I'm sure it's not that simple, but if you can just put that simplicity in your mind and just,
180.
Right.
That's the definition of repent. Did you know that?
No.
Repent means turn 180 and go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. There it is. And look at simplicity. Repent. I love it.
Yeah.
That's tonight's simplicity. It's about simplicity.
Don't overcomplicate it.
That's right. That's right. Don't overthink it. So
Heck
that's
yeah.
for me tonight. I love you guys. Let's bring it together. All right. And we're going to continue to spread that love.
Love you.
Love you guys so much. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Love you. Take care of yourself.
Well, that was a good one. Turn around.
That was, you know what? I mean, I always love her quotes, right? Her quotes are fantastic. Love what she does on every single episode. But tonight, guys, that made a lot of sense. That was on the money.
Yes, it was. You said something I want to kind of key back in on. You talked about you being in the bar, having these margarita things and eating with people because they also had a problem. Now I want to hit on this question because I'm talking to the new person, right? The new person says, do I got to get rid of all my old friends? Do I got to get rid of this? Or do I got to, you name it, right? What changes do I have to make? Which I like to call closing back doors. Can you give a little description on the lifestyle change besides your habits of eating and not spending money and not drinking, what that all looked like with a group of friends that you may have been running around with?
So I will say this. Your results may vary. That's the one thing I said tonight on the show earlier, is your results may vary. Your answers may vary. I think it depends on the people themselves, right? So if you know that you're hanging out with someone who just drinks the whole bottle and then goes for another bottle, and we're not talking about a bottle of wine, so you know how very potent that is.
That was me.
Yeah, you start questioning from the second sort of perspective, from the third party perspective, rather. Am I in danger being around that? And moreover, how much are my scruples being threatened now by that? Now, for the alcoholism, never a problem with me, because I know that I have a certain reaction to it that I can never go back to because it was such a vehemently sick reaction. I don't see, and I guess it goes more psychological than that, in the sense that I know how much hurt it gave me. It's something where my whole physical health is somewhat threatened. It's something where some relationships have ended because of it. And I know that alcohol itself represents that. And if I'm going to basically be free of that pain, I have to be free of the device. Now, again, that's me. There could be other ways to look at it. Now, does that mean I stop hanging out with people? No, unless all they do is just drink and drink and drink and drink. Then I don't have much to give, especially if I'm just sitting there with a cup of coffee.
So you could go hang out with somebody that's drinking and drink coffee? Oh, wow. I could not do that.
Yeah, I could do that. Some people I've talked to cannot believe this, but the fact of the matter is, when I'm by myself, and I've been separated for 14 months now, I still like to eat. So I will go out to dinner, and it's very strange to sit at a table by yourself. So I will sit at the bar but not drink.
Oh, yeah.
Because one, bartender knows me, has a giant respect for me, knows that I will never fall off, but then also has the best conversations with me because she's had a lot of people in her life become sober and go down the steps in the whole nine. So she understands me with it. When you surround yourself with people in the most strangest of places on something that is so fundamental as sobriety, amazing things happen. And I really,
I think the key to what you said there is it sounds like everybody knows you're in recovery.
Oh yeah.
I want to shout out New real quick. New, congratulations on 6 months from meth. That is no joke. So proud of you. Good job. But sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, not at all. And congratulations, by the way, on the 6 months.
Thank you.
The thing is, when I got to 500 days with the sobriety, I went out to dinner that night and I sat at that very bar having a steak, having multiple bottles of Pellegrino and coffee.
Thank you, Sean.
And she was there basically, rooting me on, but just very much proud of what has transpired because she remembered me when I was at 480 and I was ordering drinks off of her.
Oh, wow.
And to see me change and to see me do all of that. I mean, I am very thankful to have these people in my life. I am also, I got to say this, I am also very thankful to have all of you in my life too.
Yes.
This is a very strange year. If there was a year that this was going to fall down, it was going to be this one. And without any in-person meetings, without being able to go to an AA or GA or OA meeting face-to-face, we need every single resource we can to do this. That also talks to why I started live streaming.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to add, that was one of my questions. So you just got in. Yeah, that was beautiful.
You read your mind.
Because I remember you said you were doing like kind of offline on live streaming, right? And was this like an educational class or was just practice? And then you launched the venture forward. How did you get into it? I know probably similar to how I did, but.
So can I give those crazy folks a quick plug or so tonight?
You do whatever you want, brother.
Plug whatever you want.
So, all right. So there's this wonderful group out of Portland called Live Streaming Pros. And basically has been run by two people that have been in the business for a very long time. Luria Petrucci basically goes all the way back to the Tech TV, ZDTV days and was an on-air personality. And then David Foster basically did a lot of tech guru stuff and basically not only for Tech TV or whatnot, but basically became very joined with Luria and has done a lot of stuff together. David runs a site called Geeks Life and is doing his thing. Luria now does Live Streaming Pros by herself, but they run a program twice a year called LEDA, L-E-D-A, which stands for Live Every Day in August or Live Every Day in April. They do it both months. I did it in August, 31 days. The challenge is you get in front of the camera every day. It doesn't talk to exactly, you have to have the basic highline sort of equipment. You don't have to run a Sony A5100. You don't need any sort, you can use your camera right in your MacBook, which funny enough is what I've been using for my live stream.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because LT, you know what it is? It's about content and being able to craft your message and being able to frame it, to be able to talk to how you scope out a particular episode or a particular 15, 30-minute stream. It's love you too, Sherry. It's a sort of thing where you become a storyteller. And not the most important story you know. It's the story of you, the best story you know. It's like why I tell the many amazing people that have joined me for season 1 on the show. It's like, I want you to tell your story, and the best story to tell that story is you. And I'm not going to tell your story for you. I will ask you questions that guide you down that road, but you tell your story, and I will help you along the way. And Merck can even talk to it back from episode 1.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened. You know, it's funny, LT. Merck, and I'll tell you this of at least 5 other people that have done the show. They're always so nervous about telling their story, and then they get on camera and they become a natural because they're telling their story. It's a story they know.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's crazy how easily it flows when it's
Mm-hmm.
comes from the heart.
And Mark, by the way, you're phenomenal. I love you, man.
Yes.
That's a great show. All of you are amazing. All of you.
All you guys.
Yeah,
Mark
all you
is-
guys.
And a stallion. That's awesome. Yeah, my rock bottom. So I kind of went back to Sean's question on the 2 rock bottoms. With meth, I don't consider myself having hit rock bottom. I mean, I did. Obviously, I got a felony. I got locked up for a year, 4 months in a halfway house. But I had no desire to quit doing drugs. The only reason I stopped was because I was looking at 15 years in prison. I was scared straight, right? And then the day I get off probation, I got weed and I'm getting high again immediately. I didn't do meth because I was like, oh man, that's going to run me down the felony road. But I was still a drug addict. I didn't have a rock bottom. I think I had 1 rock bottom, and that was sitting in my camper, after a 4-gallon bender over a 4-day period, and called my dad and said, take me to the hospital or I'm not going to live through this, period.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had meth and alcohol, but I was just a drug addict. You put it in front of me, I'm doing it. I love to party.
Mm. Let me ask you this: what was the sort of precipitating event that caused you to go down those roads in the first place?
With the drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom can attest to this, and some of you have heard me tell this, but when I was young, like 4 or 5, I grew up, my cousins were all 9, 10 years older than me. My brother's 9 years older than me. I looked up to them, obviously. They drank, smoked, chewed tobacco. And I told my mom when I was really young, when I grow up, I'm smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. And that's that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always had this desire to do that. I loved being crazy. I loved adrenaline. And I was always the crazier of the crazy friends, I had crazy friends, but then I was the crazy one, you know what I mean? And I think just that desire to get that super adrenaline rush, to get as high as I could, realizing, wow, when I drink this much, it totally changes the way I feel. And I like that. And if I drink more, then it's going to change it even more. So I was always just an over and above. I was one of those, because I asked my counselor, I was like, I don't really think I drank because of X, trauma. Even though as a child, I went through the same thing a lot of us do, parents divorced, manipulative, crazy dad, addictive. I grew up messed up that way, but I desired to be high. I desired to be drunk, and I loved it. I think I just liked it.
Yeah. I mean, there's that sort of drip back that you were getting, and it just gravitated you to do it more and more, and you couldn't break from it.
Yep. Until I realized until I woke up one day in my 40s, how detrimental it was to my health. Like the doctor told me, you want to live past 50 and see your kids grow up, you need to stop right now.
Right. I think there's a community here that is very thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I can definitely tell you that I am extremely thankful for that, LT. So
thank you, John.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for all you guys. If it wasn't for all y'all, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Honestly. Merck says, if I'm half as good as the company I keep, I'd say I'm doing all right. I love you folks and can't do anything about it. And you can't do anything about it.
Mark, I'm going to tell you something.
Right
You're stuck with us, Mark. You ain't getting rid of us, and we ain't getting rid of you. So enjoy it, because we're not going anywhere.
Allie, Mark City loves you.
No, I didn't.
I just read it.
I love you too, Mark.
Where?
I love you all.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
Come say hi to everybody, Allie.
Mark, she
Come
loves
say
you
hi to
too.
John.
Hi, John.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Good.
Just doing a little live stream over here. What I did earlier in the evening.
It's been hanging out for the camera.
Well, it's good to see you.
I want to say something cool
to see
about Allie. She's, 50 some plus days clean off of Adderall. And she's starting to step out of her comfort zone media wise, digitally. She's been on my TikTok. If some of you have seen it, I'm sure, but she's told a couple little bits of her story in 60-second clips, and they're going off, man. Getting like 10,000 views and all that stuff.
Mm.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
phenomenal.
Recovering addict on TikTok. If you like TikTok, y'all.
Lish, tell your friends.
Lish, yeah. You know that's how Lish found the community, right? That's crazy. So back before live streaming, I'll tell the people that don't know, Lish was figuring out TikTok and came across one of our videos, commented, I responded, and hey, we're Utahns. Cool. Hey, we got a channel. And now Lish is one of the most awesome moderators we got in the house.
Mm.
Lish, cool.
Lish is absolutely phenomenal. I gotta say, when I realized I had to start, somewhere, and I was reaching out to these groups, Lish was one of the first people that came to me, and really wanted to understand more about my story and understanding that it's more than one thing. It's many things going on. But I gotta tell you, you look up the term "salt of the earth."
Mm-hmm.
She truly is. She truly is. I mean, she is absolutely 100% what she is, and just an incredible person. And Lish, I gotta tell you, I love you. Lish, you're phenomenal. Thank you.
And that's a good compliment. Salt of the earth. A lot of people don't understand what that means, but salt is a preservative, right? It keeps things from going bad. Salt is also a flavor that tastes delicious and makes things even better than they are. And also, if you have like a little infections and stuff, salt can help with those.
Mm-hmm.
Be the salt, baby. Good job, Alish. New asks, how do I deal with the vivid dreams of using at times? The good old using dreams we get. And you wake up feeling guilty even. Have you had any using dreams?
Yeah, one time, remember, I had one, and I think that led into my week of wanting to relapse.
So Allie said she's had a vivid using dream and it gave her a week worth of headache. What do you still get dreams? Like, do you dream that you're ever at the poker table or, slamming down, or you're in the drive-thru at Wendy's or?
Yeah. So the funny thing is not so much about the drive-thru at Wendy's, but there was a period of time, I think like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, where I was having dreams about gambling. And I was having dreams about playing video poker. And I was trying to figure out exactly why I was having those dreams. And then I realized it's because I was looking for that sort of dope release. And it didn't serve me well. It only put me more in financial dire straits outside of the IRS wanting to know more, outside of the massive amount of unsecured debt that I have. It never behooved me. It was a very ugly situation to be in. And as soon as I remember that and the pain that caused me, relationships, family, yada, 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 I think it's just making sure 2 and 2 equals 4 here and understanding exactly why was I having those dreams. Is it just missing that, or was there something else going on there? And I think in the end of the day, it's missing that, but not everybody's the same. And it also talks to, it's one thing I've always talked about, is journaling. Journaling is very important. Meditation, very important. And in my case, going to see a therapist, very important. Outside of anything else you do in groups or your sponsor or whatnot, you at least need those 3 things. And I think when you have open and honest conversations about that, not only with yourself.
She said if she saw that, did I tell? I'm wondering what she's talking about. Okay, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh. Is it where Capone was buried? I have no idea. No, I think, the combination of the 3 things and taking a full accountability of what's going on up there helps you out so many times, especially when something as oddball and weird of having those dreams comes up. Then you could start tracing it back and figure out exactly why and exactly how you go around that for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on dreams. I've had a few dreams lately, and I told this in the last Zoom meeting. I had a dream I was talking to a group of people, like in an AA setting, and I related it to addiction. And I'm like, look at the way an MMA fighter trains, right? He's training, 5 to 8 hours a day. He's eating 10,000 calories of food because that's how much energy he's burning. He's doing this day in, day out for sometimes months, even a year or 2 before a fight, right? that
Mhm.
strict, that intense training to have a 15-minute fight, one 15-minute fight, and he's trained that hard. So I was saying this in my dream, and I was like, now take that to your addiction. You need to be training this much because you're going to come across a craving or a back door you didn't realize that was closed, and you're going to have to fight. That's your battle, and you better be training this hard for those battles that are coming. And I was thinking, why did I dream that? And I was like, oh yeah, I just binge watched a series on Netflix about MMA fighters, and it was Kingdom. If you haven't seen Kingdom, that's a dang good show.
I haven't seen it, but I'll definitely look into it for sure.
The very last episode, season 3, it's only 3 seasons, perfectly done. I was in tears the whole freaking time, man. It was crazy. 3 a.m, and I'm on my couch boobing.
And no one to share it with.
Nobody to share it with.
One of those where you look around and nobody's there.
Yeah.
What's
John
up, John?
Hovels, 100 days plus. Woo!
Nice. Good boy, John.
Proud of you, brother. That is so cool.
That's awesome, John. That's fantastic.
What's up, John's wife, Tracy?
But that's kind of what I mean. Don't put too much emphasis in dreams. Dreams are a lot of influenced. I mean, when we go through a time, if a trial, right? Say you spent a year active addiction, day in, day out. You stop using that day. You got to think of all the memories you have. All the memories you have right now are a year's worth of abuse and drug use, right? So you have to give it time. You got to build new positive and healthy memories that are going to feed your psyche. And when you sleep, you'll pull off of those. And dreams, I wouldn't put too much emphasis in. Just wake up and thank God it was a dream.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also being fully accountable of what you're doing for yourself. And, the funny thing is, if you're the sort of person that overeats, tracking everything. If you're the sort of person that does this or the other thing, just tracking, journaling. You got to do it.
Yeah, it's a measurement skill, right? How can you measure success without a measuring tape?
That's right. You got to get the metrics.
Yep. Analytics. That's what Felicia is. She's an analyst.
So I do all day, crunch numbers.
Crunch numbers and build charts.
Dig. That's all I do is dig information.
She's an investigator.
I should have worked for the FBI, I decided. Real good at it.
Is it the sort of thing that you're into forensic investigations? Are you into doing like quantitative analysis and doing modeling and whatnot?
Basically, the F-35 costs millions of dollars, and they would need to fix them. And she's got to figure out where the money is.
How to streamline the process and figure out why we're not going faster.
Yeah.
So it's moving.
It's my job.
It's moving from the who, what, when, where, but also the how and the why. The how and the why, and trying to develop that model of the nuance of predicting that sort of phenomenon. That's the work I've been doing for 20 plus years. That's why I work for a software company that sells that sort of stuff.
And it's never predictable, huh? Does it always change? Every freaking thing's yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fix one thing and something else breaks.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, the most fascinating thing is, LT, is technology has made it very easy to make these things real time from a predictive standpoint, and using cloud resources and serverless resources to go ahead and do that.
Did you ever read the book The Goal?
Oh yeah.
Me too. I got it on my shelf right there.
Yeah. As well as the Unicorn Project and a couple of other books with respect to quantitative modeling and, moreover, the IT sort of response to it.
I mean, you got a lot in common. I used to do all that stuff with the 35s as a production controller. I would put teams together. I did a few times. I put teams together to find the root cause of the problem, streamline it, and break it. It was really fun. Cool. Any last minute questions for our one and only JV? Anybody going once, going twice? 11-second latency. We're waiting.
Well, no one.
11 second latency, right?
7,
Yeah, I believe so.
5,
Should we test it real
4,
quick?
3. Question. No.
We could do the old SJ latency test. On the count of 3, everybody listening, pay attention real quick. On the count of 3, when I hit 3, I want you guys to push the letter L on your keyboard. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Press it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-second latency. Woo!
9-second latency.
That's pretty good. Thanks for all you that just did that.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that latency, I don't know where New is from, but Sean's out east, Green Eyed Cat and Shree are down under. Kimmy's out east.
Mhm.
Merc, he doesn't know what the letter L is. A lot.
Mark. How much do we love John? That was his first question.
Oh, how much do we love John, y'all? We love John.
Where's Lance?
I love you guys too. Very much so.
Damn, I was 39 seconds behind.
Maryland's
we got-
way behind.
That's funny.
Maryland,
Look
you need
at
to refresh.
Maryland. Yeah. Some people may not be 100% live right now. Cool. All right, that wraps up our show. John, do you want to close us out and add any last minute stuff you want to say? And
I will do a shameless plug, as I like to call it.
yeah,
Venture Forward, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific, 4:30 Mountain. And then I'm doing a special VF Talks tomorrow because of the holiday week. So there'll be a VF Talks tomorrow, Wednesday, at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on Twitch. And the season premiere, season 2, starts on January 5th, where we will talk about depression.
Ooh, that's a good topic.
Ooh, yeah, it is, especially this time of season.
Hey, thanks for listening, Alan. Hope you have a great day at work. All right. Do you want to do the Serenity Prayer? I'm going to mute ourselves so it sounds better.
I could do it, and I can add the thing at the end
Yeah, you do.
without me typing it into the comments. It's just coming right out of me,
Right out of your mouth live.
right out of my mouth with a microphone. It's crazy, this live streaming thing, right?
This is amazing.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
The floor is
Mind blown.
yours. We're muted.
Thank you. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. We recover better together by staying safe, staying sane, staying strong, and staying sober. You're worth it. Good night, family. I love you all.
We love you, John.
All right, y'all. We will be here Thursday for the Jake show, and he's going through his book. So until then, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your program, and remember, we recover.
We recover better together.
Together.